If I seem a little low energy today, it's because I got my Moderna vaccine part 1 2 days ago, and I'm still feeling it. My shoulder still hurts like a bitch. Hey y'all, it's Bear, and today we're gonna read some Taurus books. This is part 2 in my series where I read like a zodiac sign over the course of the zodiac season. If you haven't seen part 1 where I did Aries, I will link it upstairs for you to go check out. It was a lot of fun filming it. But today we're going on to Taurus. Whenever I think of Taurus, I think of people who like to work hard so they can be comfortable later. Tauros like to work very hard in the moment so that they don't have to work later. They're into not necessarily luxury. Everyone says luxury, but whenever I think of Taurus, I think of more like comfort. They want to be comfortable. Maybe the thing that brings them comfort is luxury, but Taurus are definitely a sign that focuses more on the self and what they can do to set themselves up for success and make themselves feel more comfortable. They're also really big foodies, and they can be like a teensy bit materialistic sometimes. We're going to read 4 books this vlog. We're going to read 2 books that were favorites of Taurus community members. We're going to read a book written by a Taurus author, and then we're going to read a book published during Taurus season. I have 3 books that I'm interested in reading right now that were published during Taurus season. So what I think I'm going to do, I'm going to put a poll up either on Twitter or my community tab, and I'm going to say, pick one, superhero, witch, pirates, and whichever one wins will be the one that I read. On to the book written by a Taurus author, I have The First 15 Lives of Harry August by Claire North. No matter what he does or the decisions he makes, every time Harry dies, he always returns to where he began, a child with all the knowledge of a life lived a dozen times before. As Harry nears the end of his 11th life, a little girl appears at his bedside. "I nearly missed you, Dr. August," she says. "I need to send a message." This is the story of what Harry does next and what he did before and how he tries to save a past he cannot change and a future he cannot allow. Time traveling, reincarnation. It sounds like Doctor Who. It was very difficult to find books published by Taurus authors. I had to go through my entire TBR. I also found some Goodreads lists because thankfully, the Pop Sugar Challenge for this year, one of the reading prompts is to read a book by an author that shares your zodiac sign, so they've like compiled a pretty good list. Now moving on to the 2 favorites by Taurus community members, I have Hide and Seeker by Daka Herman. This is a favorite of Tori. Medusa Reads or Tori's Dreaming, both of them are handles for her. Tori is primarily on Instagram. I think that's where I mainly see her stuff. And I don't get on Instagram often, but whenever I get on Instagram, like the first thing I have to go look at is Tori's page because her aesthetics are so beautiful. I love the photos that she does. What's funny is I found her Goodreads list. I saw this one listed and I was like, perfect, beautiful, great, that's on my TBR. And what's funny is on that video that I posted, the Do Books Have Zodiac Signs, I talked about this book and Tori commented saying, "Oh my gosh, I love Hide and Seeker. I love whenever people talk about Hide and Seeker." And I'm like, little do you know, I'm reading it in a couple of days because of you. Also on Tori's list, we have The House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune. I'm buddy reading this with my friend Michelle from Bookishly Michelle, so perfect, great. It's one of Tori's favorite books. However, I didn't want to read it for Tori because I was already reading Hide and Seeker. I looked up some more Taurus booktubers, which by the way, y'all were impossible to find. So I kind of had to do some sneaky searching on Twitter, and I found out that Gavin from How to Train Your Gavin is a Taurus. Was not in his Goodreads favorites list, but I found a favorites video that Gavin did of like 2021 books that surprised him, and he mentioned this one as one of his favorites. Other Taurus people I found, I made like a little paper because there were quite a few. Amber from Amber in a Face loves this book. Bethany from Beautifully Bookish Bethany rated it 5 stars. And all the other Taurus people that I found in the community have this on their TBR as like a highly anticipated book. And then I was thinking, well, let me just, I don't know. Can I really do that? Can I have it count for like more than one community member? And then I looked up TJ Klune's birthday. And TJ Klune is a Taurus. This should be the most Taurus book out of all of them if the author is a Taurus, and I found like 7 people who either rated this highly or are very excited to read this book. So this one should be like the one of the vlog. I just want to see if there are any common threads between these books and see if it's something that lines up with what I am aware of Taurus as a sign. I will be discussing more about Taurus zodiac stuff. You saw part 1, so you know how this is gonna go. I'm in a middle grade mood. I really want to read some middle grade, so I'm gonna read Hide and Seeker first, and I will update you whenever I have something to update you on. Hi, me, fresh out of the shower. That's why I look like this. I did want to update you and let you know that In Deeper Waters by F.T. Lukens won the poll, so I will be reading this next. I will be reading this after I finish talking about this current book that I want to discuss. But I did want to talk to you while I'm like brushing out my hair and stuff, because I do that after every shower, about Hide and Seeker. Taurus is ruled by Venus. Venus is goddess of love and beauty and self-care, and you know, that makes sense in my head to me to like do self-care things when we're talking about a sign that's ruled by the goddess of self-care. Hide and Seeker, I really enjoyed. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. I talked about it in a video. I talked about it in a video that I'm going to post next week at time of filming, so it'll probably be like 2 weeks ago that you're seeing this. I would have posted it. The video will already be up by the time you watch this. It'll be my stats for the first 4 months of the year. I talked about 5 of my favorite books that I have read over the first 4 months of the year, and this was one of them. I've just got done gushing about it. So Hide and Seeker is about a boy named Justin whose friends are all playing hide and seek at his friend Z's welcome home party. The welcome home party is because Z was missing for like a year, and they're celebrating his return. However, he's acting weird. He's talking about weird stuff in like rhymes. He's acting strange. Things are broken around the house. You know, it's just like creepy kid stuff. So then what happens is the kids who are at the party are playing hide and seek, and they break the rules. They don't finish the game. And then one by one, they all start to go missing. And they find out that this creature, this entity called the Seeker, is like kidnapping them and taking them to this other dimension. So while you're in the dream world, you have to like deal with your worst fear, which also gave me Freddy Krueger vibes. And our main character Justin's worst fear is his mother, because his mother recently died of, I believe, cancer. One of the worst things that he has to experience in the nowhere, I think is what they call it, is his dead mom. And she's like following him and telling him like, oh, come home, baby, like I'll take care of you, I'm your mom, and I'm not really dead, and you can live with me forever if you just listen. Like creepy shit. Creepy shit. They even mention a couple of times that Justin is kind of like the de facto leader, like everyone just defers to Justin whenever they need to make a decision, and he leads the friend group. I loved that. I thought it was very interesting to have a character who A, does not believe in himself nearly enough and suffers panic attacks and has mental health issues and is working through a lot of grief, to be looked at as the de facto leader by his friends, because it's very, I don't know, it was just nice. Like this was the friendships in this book were very nice. I also think because Taurus has such a strong thing about family, like most Tauros are very dedicated to their family. They're family centric. They're always family planning. Tauros, they care about their family a lot more than other signs. It's harder for them to lose attachments like that. So that was something that I thought was very present in this book, because Justin's mother is missing. And then Z's mother was also helping take care of Justin, and the friends are like a little found family. And Justin's sister works very hard because she's like a sister working to support herself and her kid brother. So the themes of family, I think, were very, ow, that's a big knot. I feel like Justin, in general, is just like a very Taurus character. I don't think this book would initially strike you as like, oh, this is very Taurus, but it's a Taurus put into the worst possible scenario, where their family is dying, people that they care about are going missing, they're losing control, they can't figure out what's going on. It's a Taurus's worst nightmare. So if you are a Taurus who wants to get freaked out, then I think you would enjoy this book. I give this book a 5 out of 5 personal rating and a 5 out of 5 on the Taurus scale. Let's talk about some Taurus in my life while I'm finishing my hair. My dad is a Taurus, and I, growing up, had a weird relationship with my dad. We're good now, but I did not get along with my dad. I was definitely more of like a mama's kid. And my dad has had to do a lot of work and unlearning, but he did it because he cares so much about me as his family. Who else in my life is a Taurus? One of my best friends, Hector, is a Taurus. Hi, Hector. I hope you're watching this video. Hector said he would watch the Taurus video, so hello if you're here. I have read Hector's entire chart. I've told Hector a lot about himself through his chart. Hector is very much a Taurus, and what I said earlier about how Taurus want to work hard now so that they can be comfortable later, that's something that Hector definitely embraces and is also a very Taurus quality. Like I said, Taurus are some of my favorite signs. I feel like A lot of my former friends have been Taurus just because we get along so well at a surface level, and very rarely do I manage to take it deeper into like a meaningful personal friendship, but I've been able to do that more lately. I don't choose my friends based on their zodiac signs, obviously, but I'm making observations. I am so afraid I'm gonna break this brush. Do you see what I have to go through to be beautiful? How does that look? Does that look nice and brushed out? If you've ever wondered what my hair looks like when it's straight, and it's still not even completely straight, it's starting to curl again. I was gonna take a video of him, but he started peeing. Whiskey! His name is Whiskey. You may remember him from past videos. He's a dog that Will and I pet sit kind of frequently. He's a good boy. So I'm taking him out for his afternoon walk, and I'm gonna go inside and I'm gonna read some more. I don't know if I'm reading anything for this video today. I don't think so. But I did want to say that a lot of the books that I have on my TBR for May, I didn't realize were Taurus books. Technically I've already completed the challenge of reading a book published during Taurus season because I read She Drives Me Crazy by Kelly Quinlan. So I am just gonna count that for my book published in Taurus season. I'm still planning on reading In Deeper Waters, and if I do read it before the vlog is over, then I will talk about it. But I'm also like planning on reading The Henna Wars, which was published during Taurus season last year, I think. I have The Ones We're Meant to Find that's on my TBR that's coming out in a couple days, so you might get a lot more books in this video. Jesus. That is a loud bird. Can y'all hear that bird? Whiskey, come here. Come on, boy. Hi, so this is the thing we're now working with. I kind of love it. I'm kind of obsessed with it. I love it. This is unrelated to the video at all, but I just wanted to show you that I am officially a member of Team Rocket, and I am living my full Poison Gym Leader best life right now. So it is currently the 13th of May, which means I have not updated you, I don't think, since I got my haircut, so maybe like a week and a half. I've not read a goddamn thing. So I currently feel like I'm on the edge of a psychological breakdown. It's not all booktube related, but some of it's booktube related. I'm feeling a lot of pressure to read books for videos, which is ironic because I'm currently reading books for videos. So this won't be going up afterwards. But I did record a video talking about how booktube has like made not reading that fun for me anymore, and how it's a little stress inducing, and how exhausting it is to feel like I constantly need to be reading just for the sake of making content. So the book that I've been reading lately is not a book for this video. So this is like an end of the road check-in. I read Hide and Seeker, which I really enjoyed and gave 5 stars. I switched out In Deeper Waters for She Drives Me Crazy because I realized that I had read this one already and it came out in Taurus season and it fits. I talked about this one in my 2021 reading check-in number 1, where I talked about like the 5 best books I've read in the year, and I will talk about this later in the video, but I really enjoyed this book. We have sapphic, fake dating, enemies to lovers, or like rivals to lovers, I guess would be a more accurate description, between a basketball player and a cheerleader. I really enjoyed it. Gave me a lot of the same vibes as Hide and Seeker, where I talk about family being such a big thing for Taurus, as our main character Scotty is healing from the breakup with her ex-girlfriend and kind of coming into her own and discovering who she is as a person rather than who she is as a girlfriend. Her family is a big part of that healing process. Also, because I have this now, I have been officially invited to join the Mullet Book Club with Sage, Sarah, and Charles. So that means that for June, I'll be reading In Deeper Waters instead of for this video. I spent many days trying to get through this book. This, I'm officially DNFing for now. One day I will make it through a secret TBR video without changing my TBR during the video. So I still think that the premise sounds really cool. I still want to read it. However, with the way that my mental health is right now, this is not good for me. Opening page of this book talks about a rape. Then we talk about suicide and mental hospitals and like I can't deal with it right now. It's just too much for me, and it's sending me not only into a reading slump, but I think a mental health slump. So this is going back on my TBR for whenever I am in a better mental health place, because I do think that this is really interesting. I do think this is something I could genuinely enjoy, just not right now. I am putting that book down, and I'm going to read a Shakespeare play for this video. I am holding this upside down. I want to read a Shakespeare play and then watch like a 90s, early 2000s teen rom-com, because they're all basically Shakespeare retellings. I am leaning towards The Taming of the Shrew, Much Ado About Nothing, or As You Like It. Also maybe Twelfth Night. Those are the ones that are like kind of hanging up here, are the ones I haven't read yet. I do still plan on reading The House in the Cerulean Sea. I don't think that this will affect me negatively. In fact, I've heard so much praise for this book, like I talked about earlier, that I think this might be what I need right now. I might need something cute and wholesome. I know a lot of this has to do with the pandemic and the stresses that I am putting on myself as a content creator. I also know that Mercury retrograde is coming up, and as a Virgo who is ruled by the planet of Mercury, Mercury retrogrades fuck me up. I also want to know, like, Taurus, are you okay? All of these books have characters who are having like legitimate mental health problems. Like legitimate. And it's something I've noticed in all of these books. Is such a prevalent theme. I didn't intentionally pick up any of these books thinking this would be like a discussion of mental health. And the more I think about it too, every Taurus that I can think of that's like coming to mind right now is very good at like hiding their problems. I don't know, do with that information what you will. The point of this whole vlog series is to see if I notice any reoccurring trends in the books I pick up. That is a trend I am noticing in here. And I also believe that mental health is the thing in here as well. So like the books that I am reading for this video, that's a common thread. I'm gonna read some Shakespeare and we're gonna, have a good time. So the whole premise of The Taming of the Shrew is that this dude wants to marry this girl, but she's not allowed to get married as long as her older sister is not married. So the father says, like, before you can get married, your sister has to get married. So people concoct this plan to, like, break down this shrew, this, girl who doesn't want to get married, and she's a little hostile, and no one really likes her. So they come up with this plan to psychologically break her down until she marries this guy. My least favorite Shakespeare I've ever read. Not a fan. 2 stars. However, family, weird family stuff, that's in here. I still need to watch 10 Things I Hate About You, because I feel like if I watch 10 Things I Hate About You, maybe I will appreciate the story a little bit more. I don't know. I want to see what 10 Things I Hate About You does, because I've never seen it. I don't have a reading update for you, but I do want to talk about some stuff. Specifically, Olivia Rodrigo, the queen of the music industry right now. She released her music video for her new single, Good For You, which is very much inspired by Jennifer's Body. The cinematic parallels between Olivia Rodrigo's Good For You and Jennifer's Body are immaculate. I have been listening to the song on repeat. I think it's also interesting that this song came out during Taurus season because Megan Fox is a Taurus. I'm looking too deeply into all of this, but Megan Fox is a Taurus, and I think it's cool that coincidences, like I said, all I'm doing in these vlogs is looking for common threads, and that's what we have right here. So I have pizza and my computer set up, and I'm gonna watch 10 Things I Hate About You.
Yeah, but see, there's a difference between like and love. Because I like my Skechers, but I love my Prada backpack. But I love my Skechers. That's because you don't have a Prada backpack.
What is this? Oh my god. But I did start The House in the Cerulean Sea. I'm about 200 pages into it, and I love it. So I had actually DNF'd this book a little bit ago just because it wasn't what I was in the mood for, but I'm really loving it, and it's very wholesome and cute. I feel like this is going to be 5 stars. Something really annoying would have to happen to make me bump it down from a 5-star. Oh my god, I'm crying. Let me turn on my flash so you can see me. I have about 60 pages left in this, and I'm crying basically every 3 pages. I love this so much. And I'm sad that I DNF'd it like a year ago when I first tried it. I'm sorry I didn't listen to y'all earlier. The influence that these Taurus people have over me is too high. It's hitting me very hard right now. I'm doing very bad mentally right now, as you can probably tell from this vlog. We will talk about it later. But this is just what I needed. This is such a breath of fresh air and like peace. And currently I'm dealing with like real life stuff, but I also made a video that was like how booktube fucked up my reading and how reading kind of feels like a job and how basically reading isn't fun anymore because of booktube. And this book, Lioness, is a character I relate to a lot because this whole book is not just about children and differences and nature versus nurture and, you know, false perceptions of people. It's also about learning how to live rather than just exist. I feel like for a while with the pandemic and everything, I feel like I've just been existing for a little bit. Oh my god, I'm a mess. I look a hot mess right now. So I will update you whenever I finish it. I'm just gonna go cry for the last 60 pages. So, here we are with my Taurus video wrap up. If everything's going as planned, this video is going up on the 20th, which is the last day of Taurus season. We have 2 DNFs, 1 2-star book, and 3 5-star books. I told y'all. Y'all know I rate a lot of books 5 stars. I'm a high rated reader. So starting off with DNFs, just to kind of get them out of the way. This one was very heavy and very thick. That's 25 chapters. I would not have made it through this video reading this. Some books I think just aren't meant to be vlogged. Like this one, I don't think is a good vlog book. It's a little heavy and it's hard to discuss my feelings on things in a quick manner because I haven't had time to process my feelings on this stuff. Especially if I'm having to do it in a set period of time. So I do think this is a good book. I will definitely continue it. And like I said, this one I'm saving with the Mullet Book Club because now I can sit with the cool kids. So let's talk about The Taming of the Shrew and 10 Things I Hate About You. I do not think that 10 Things I Hate About You is an exact reimagining of The Taming of the Shrew. It is very much a loose interpretation, even though the movie is very outdated and suffers from like that 90s things where they casually use slurs and like white characters have dreadlocks and they use like ableist terms and it's very, you know, very like 90s irreverent teen rom-com that's kind of uncomfortable to watch now. I do think that the movie was a better version of the story than the play. Sorry. Taming of the Shrew is my least favorite Shakespeare thing I've ever read. I don't like domestic abuse being framed as a comedy device. And a lot of people don't think you should be able to read classics and analyze them through a modern lens. I'm reading this in 2021. Everyone, if I wanted to do an interpretation of what the reaction of this book would have been like in the 1940s, I can look up someone who read it in the 1940s, but this is 2021, babes. Like we're talking about this now. Very disappointing, and it's a shame because I was very excited to read more Shakespeare. I did like reading a play though. I love reading plays. I just do think the movie was a better carriage for this story. It was a little more not wholesome because everyone in the play and everyone in the movie are pieces of shit. Like in Shakespeare, 90% of the characters are going to be shitty. Maybe it was because of Heath Ledger. If Heath Ledger would have been in the Taming of the Shrew play, maybe I would have liked it a lot more. I'm just saying. I don't know, 2 stars. Look, I can't separate myself from looking at this from a modern lens. Do I think it's very Taurus-y? I think that everything that Shakespeare writes that I have ever written is very Taurus-y. You have complicated characters. You have interesting family dynamics. You have this kind of lush writing. If you want to know a Taurus vibe, then just check out some Shakespeare. Let's talk about Hide and Seeker. I loved everything that this book did, and I totally see why Tori loves it so much. I love the fact that mental health is such a prominent thing in a middle grade, especially with a black protagonist. They were fighting the bad guy, they were fighting the monster. I like that we dealt with the loss of a parent in a middle grade, because even though that's something that is pretty common, it's a pretty common trope in middle grade, Dr. Herman was very good at portraying like the reality of it. And like I said, I do think that this is a very Taurus book. At first glance it may not seem like it, but because family is such a strong thing. Justin's relationship with his family issues, his mother dying, that being his worst fear, it carries over into what I said earlier about Taurus being very family oriented. I was very excited to read it and I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. It's probably my favorite book I read for the vlog. We have She Drives Me Crazy by Kelly Quinlan, which I also talked about in that reading stats video. Talked about the themes of trauma and family and relationships and stuff like that as well earlier in the video. I like the fact that family was a healing point for our main character, Scotty. I think it was a very Taurus book. I don't know that Scotty, our main character, is a Taurus, but the vibes in here were very Taurus, so I think that it being published during Taurus season worked in its favor. Now finally, we're going to talk about The House in the Cerulean Sea, which I don't know if I'm ready to talk about yet. So like I said, this book was like the book to read for this video, and I'm glad that I thought to turn on my camera while I was having a breakdown reading this. This just hit me so fucking hard. Have I told you what this is about yet? This is kind of a urban fantasy paranormal world where like magical creatures exist alongside humans. However, TJ Klune does such a good job at building this world where there's like a government that reigns over these orphanages that these magical creatures live in, and you have caseworkers who go visit them. TJ Klune did such a good job at building this world that it felt very grounded. It felt very realistic. You also have, like I talked about, the family. This is a found family book. For whatever reason, there are children who have been sent to this orphanage. They're told that they're dangerous. They're told that they are problem children, that they're monsters. And they're shown love and they're shown kindness and they build their own family. And I loved every single child in this book. I would protect them with my fucking life. I do feel like this one also gives off Taurus-y vibes because do you remember that thing I said earlier about how Taurus people like to work hard so they can reap the benefits later? Lioness feels like a Taurus who doesn't realize that he's worked hard enough and it's time to reap his benefits. If this situation is a Taurus's worst nightmare, then this situation is a Taurus's best dream. So, trends I noticed in this book. Family. Family was a huge thing throughout every single book I read. Even in the two that I DNF'd, family had a big part to play. But another thing too, I don't think Taurus people are as okay as I thought they were because these books all had me fucked up. All of these books had themes of grief and heartbreak and coming into your self-identity and all of this like this emotional payoff. And I think because Taurus are very good at putting up walls, so I think that books that deal with these heavier topics, like heavier mental, like introspective self topics, are maybe almost cathartic. Anyways, that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this vlog. Sorry if it was a little weird because I was going through it for a good portion of it. If you enjoyed this video, you can thumbs up and subscribe and hit the bell and all of that good shit, as well as answering the comment question of the day. Comment question of the day, let me know your favorite books with family tropes, or found family tropes, or complex family dynamics. And if you don't have time, you don't have the spoons, you don't have an answer, or you just don't want to, then leave me an emoji, preferably a yellow heart, so I know you made it all the way until the end of my video. Or if you don't have access to emojis, you can leave me a smiley face emoticon. All my social media links, everything I mentioned below, all the people that I mentioned below will be linked downstairs, so make sure you go check all of them out, as well as places to support me further outside of YouTube. Click on that link tree. You can follow me around on my Instagram, my Goodreads, my TikTok, my Facebook page, my Twitter. I almost said Snapchat. Again, for the love of God, I don't have a fucking Snapchat. And then places if you want to support me financially or help me buy a book, so my Ko-fi, my PayPal, or my Amazon wishlist. Alright, I hope you have a wonderful, whatever it is, wherever you are. I will see you for Gemini season in another video. Thank you for watching. Okay, cool. Bye!